Good day and welcome everybody to our 10th webinar, the fifth in English language. I'm Stefano Pernetti, I'm part of Decsa sales department and I deal with the sale of spare parts and after sales service. First of all, please switch off the microphone and camera to avoid any interferences. And if someone has this kind of problem, write it in the chat section and we'll try to solve the problem in real time. And if during my relation there is some point for which you need some clarification, write your question and I reply at the end of this webinar. As you know, the life of any machine depends on proper maintenance, and a cooling tower, an evaporative condenser, and evaporative cooler are certainly no exception. Today's webinar will focus on this and specifically the ordinary maintenance activities to be carried out on our model called SQA, the latest in our range of products. It's an open circuit cooling tower designed especially for all industrial application with water partially contaminated by suspended solids, with the axial fans made of Z725 galvanized steel or stainless steel 304 or 316, or with the fiberglass option regarding only the panels. It consists of an upper fan section, an intermediate exchange section, and a lower basin section for the water collection. From this section, the list of activities to be carried out will begin. Ordinary maintenance activities are performed when machine downtime is foreseen, and all of this is assured from the needs of those who manage the plant. If we talk about a plant that goes to serve the conditioning, the unit is operational for about 8 months per year. So the remaining period can be used to carry out all the checks and any extraordinary maintenance. If the unit is a part of an industrial plant, I mean the situation of this model, operating 12 months per year, a few consecutive days of downtime are usually expected to carry out maintenance activities, but it would be good to organize to have a few more hours outside the expected downtime. This because some periodic activities require more than just one annual intervention. Let's start by checking the basin section. An operation to be carried out following the manual remove of the inner grids, following the prior removal of their supports, unscrewing the bolts using a 13 wrench or a screwdriver having a socket of this size. Once removed, the condition in which they are placed can be verified, and they also can cleaned by using a pressure lens at a safe distance so as not to damage them. If this is not sufficient, well, it's necessary to evaluate its replacement. After this, it's possible to inspect the inside of the basin. You can proceed with the removal of the protection filter. It's easily removed by pulling it upwards. To clean it and evaluate if it's necessary to clean the basin itself. Also checking if there are presence of signs of scale, falling, or corrosion. Regarding this eventuality, I allow myself to open a parenthesis. In addition to proper maintenance, the integrity of every unit is also subject to proper water treatment, which must be carried out by a specialized company. Upon delivery of a new unit, the user receives the use and maintenance manual of the same, both by email and in paper format. Inside the manual, there is a page containing this table that showing the range of water chemical values. Who deals with the water treatment must refer to this table to carry out a correct activity. We remind you that in case of need, the manual is always available and we can send it by email at any time. That said, it can check the flow of the water from the nozzle at the bottom of the basin. If the rain from the bottom of the filling flows evenly from the whole surface, it means that there are no clogging or fouling problems. Once these checks have been completed, the air inlet grids can be repositioned and stopped by fixing their support to the structure. Now let's move to the controls on the exchange section. The innovative feature of the SQA model is that the presence of a gasket between one panel and another doesn't make it necessary to use bolts for their fastening. Therefore, to carry out the various checks, simply lift the panel and pull it to oneself to make it come out of its seat and remove it using the endless placement of the panels themselves. Once the panels have been removed, it's possible to check the situation of the distribution system. That's to verify the water sprayed by the nozzle uniformly covers the entire surface of the filling, and also the pet itself doesn't show signs of dirt or clogging. Another condition that may arise as a result of improper water treatment. If there is no uniform spraying, it's necessary to remove just the nozzles manually, simply by unscrewing them from the secondary heaters, or the complete pipes to bring them to the ground and clean them with a pressure lens. Mm. Also, in this case, if it's not enough, they must be replaced. Now let's move on to the controls on the fan section. The entry point is the inspection door located on the fan section itself. To get there, if there's no ladder and platform installed of the unit, a component that we can supply or request as an option in a new unit or as a spare or on an already installed unit, it's necessary to use a lifting platform. It's useless to remember that since it's a job date, you need to have the necessary PPE. I mean, safety belts, helmet, etc. Once the inspection door has been removed, you are in front of the drift eliminators, which must also be removed in order to check their integrity and verify that they don't have problems in terms of dirt and clogging. Regarding the axial fan system, we can have three different situations. The first, direct coupling, motor and fan, and directly coupled. Gearbox transmission, we have the motor connected to the gearbox by means of a coupling joint. In the gearbox, the oil inside is to be replaced once a year. Unscrewing the cap in the lower part, the oil to be replaced comes out. And removing the cap in the upper part, it's possible to insert the new oil. Contact us and we'll give you information on the type of oil to be used and the quantity. The third situation, belt pulley transmission. We have the motor and its pulley connected to the fan and its pulley through the transmission belt. So in this case, we can proceed to check the belts. Obviously, the motor must be turned off and the area must be set up to carry out all activities safely. As you can see, the wheelbase T is the distance between the center of the two pulleys. This distance must be reported perpendicularly on the belt, and then you must calculate its middle point. At this point, with a tensiometer, we can act to push the belt by 1.6 centimeter if the wheelbase T is 1 meter long, 3.2 centimeters if it's 2 meters long, etc. At the end of this operation, the tensiometer must give a value between minimum and maximum. Otherwise, the belt tension must be changed. I indicate the values of the tape I and tape B belts because they are the most installed models. Warning, the values shown refer to a single belt. For example, we have 3 single belts for a 3-groove pulley. Currently, the belt we install are single baked with as many inserts as there are pulley grooves. This solution is more effective because a single belt does not fall even if it's loose. Therefore, the tension values must be multiplied by the number of inserts in the belt. For example, if we have a 3-groove pulley, the values multiplied by 3, with a 4-groove pulley by 4, and so on. The belt model followed by a number indicating its length, it's stamped on it. These data are very important because if you want to buy new belts from us, we need them to provide you with the correct ones. It's important to remember that incorrect tension shortens the life of the belt, bearing and consequently of the whole transmission, especially if the belt is over tension. To change the tension of the belt, it's necessary to act on the tie rod located on the motor support in this position. As you can see, the shaft that connects the fan to its pulleys is fixed to the support with two bearings, which must be greased every 4 months of 3,000 hours of operation. Above each support, there is a lubricator line to which the pump nozzle must be connected. This pump, for carry out this activity, must contain a lithium grease cartridge for bearings. The quantity of grease to be used corresponds to 3 pumpkins. I mean the quantity of a soup spoon. Consider that the nozzle of the lubrication line is external, so it's possible to lubricate the bearings without stopping the motor. Remember that too little of grease will cause the bearing drying. If the grease is too much, it will come out of the bearing seals and will collect the dirty on the outside by introducing it into the bearings and will damage it. Now, with the motor stopped, we can proceed at the control of the vibration by using of the tensiometer. This is what we use. It's equipped with an extendable cable at the top of which there is a magnet, which must first be fixed in the low point. The low point of the support on which the motor is installed. Once this is done, exit the unit, turn on the vibrometer, which will take a few seconds to set itself, and then start the motor, leaving it running for about a minute and detect the data that the device provides. Once this is done, stop the motor and repeat the operation after fixing the magnet at the eye point of the motor support. This is the procedure for directly coupled motors and fans. In the other two cases, the same thing is done by fixing the magnet to the gear support or to the shaft support in these points. And then externally to the motor support. The maximum tolerated vibration value is 4.5 millimeters per second. If the measured value is higher, it's necessary to understand the reason. It may be due, for example, to a damaged motor, a damaged fan, a damaged support, etc. Remember that in every time we can support you on this check. After this last check, we can reposition the drift eliminators, close the inspection door, and start the motor to return to 100% operating. So I remind you to follow us on our channels. On our website, among other things, you will find references on maintenance activities and spare parts. For every information on this, you also can contact me on my email address, and this is my phone number. On our YouTube channel, you will find many tutorial videos about replacing components on our units and recordings on our webinar, including this one in a few times. On our LinkedIn page, you can find out our news and the dates of next webinars. When we close the session, you will see a short questionnaire about your satisfaction. Please fill it in because it will help us to improve. So, if there are no questions, I just have thank you for your attention, greet you, and remind you of stay tuned. Have a nice day and have a good job. It would be a great pleasure. Bye.